Tonight's actor Ted Danson is perhaps best known as the affable bartender Sam Malone on the hit show Cheers.
Yes, I'll take a message.
Well?
You're a magnificent pagan beast.
Thanks. What's the message?
So, my place or yours?
I have a roommate.
Yours it is.
You know, I always wanted to pop you one. Maybe this is my lucky day, huh?
You disgust me. I hate you.
Are you as turned on as I am?
More.
What you may not know about Ted Danson is he's also one of the world's leading ocean conservationists. His new book is called Oceana, Our Endangered Oceans and What We Can Do to Save Them. Ted, it's nice to have you here. Welcome back.
Thanks.
You know, I think that the way I understand it, you were at the height of your Cheers fame, and you kind of had an epiphany. You're walking along one day, and you said, you know what, I don't want to be one of these guys who is only known for one thing, and I think you even thought, I don't want to be a vapid Hollywood type. And you started to go out and educate yourself on this subject. What were the first steps you took?
I am still vapid, so let's get that, make that clear. I was walking on the beach with my daughters, and we came across a sign that said, water polluted, no swimming. And I had no idea to answer, how could that be? It's so vast and beautiful. What could be the problem? And a series of things happened, and I kind of naively started with a friend of mine who was an environmental lawyer, an organization called American Oceans Campaign, which later, about 10 years ago, merged into Oceana, which is the world's largest marine conservation group. So I've always used, hi, thank you for watching Cheers, I appreciate that. Come on into the tent and let me
introduce you. As a calling card, right.
To these scientists that I'm standing
You make a point early in the book, and it got my attention. You say, basically, of all the charitable giving in this country, about 1% of it goes to the oceans, right. 99% to land-based charities, and yet when you look at the surface of the earth, those numbers are almost reversed.
Yeah, which is why I think it's a really timely thing for this book, because it's a little bit out of sight, out of mind. But the truth is, the oceans are at a tipping point.
Yeah, you say, unless dramatic action or radical change occurs, here's some of the scary what-ifs, okay, in the book. 2050, the Great Barrier Reef will be dead. All tropical reefs dead at the end of the century. By 2080, island nations like the Maldives will be underwater. Within the next century, the only seafood left for us to eat will be jellyfish. Now, these are the kinds of claims that make headlines and they sell books. Is there science, in your opinion, to back those up?
Yes, but this is not what's going to happen. This is what could happen if we do not change our ways. Absolutely. It will not happen, should not happen, because you can change your ways and do the right thing. We are being incredibly wasteful, and we're destroying habitat. We're doing all of these things wrong that we could turn around. For example, in this country, our fish management system is pretty good, actually. We've come a long way.
What's the biggest piece of progress that's been made? I know because you have said in the past that overfishing is basically one of the biggest problems.
Yeah.
I know trawling, which is a method of fishing, you think may be public enemy number one. What changes are you seeing happening?
We are now, with Oceana, working with, which is the organization, working with the fishing councils on the West Coast. We've set aside in the Mediterranean and off the West Coast about 1 million square miles to no more offshore oil drilling. I mean, no more bottom trawling, period. Because what happens is they destroy the nurseries. They scrape the bottom and turn them into gravel pits instead of corals and rocks and nooks and crannies where the little fish become the big fish we like to eat. We are destroying the nurseries. And at the same time, that is so wasteful. About a third of the world's catch, thrown overboard, dead or dying, because it's not the fish they're after.
We're only less than a year away from the Gulf oil disaster.
Right.
And do you think that, I mean, you hate to have for it to take a disaster to focus people's attention, but do you think that disaster did, in some ways, refocus people's attention on our seas to the point where we look at them differently now?
I think so, to some degree, but once again, we are screaming for more energy in this country, and jobs are a big issue. So, people are becoming more focused, but the argument is still the same. Do we offshore oil drill or not? And that's still very much alive.
You talk about big changes that we're making, for example, in the way we fish. What is the biggest thing you think an individual, a viewer watching this right now, could do to positively impact the future of our oceans?
Great. You can do individual things like become an informed buyer of fish. Ask at the counter, let me see the FDA list. Let me see the fish that are safe for me to eat, because some fish have too much mercury in them. Don't eat farm salmon. Most of our salmon comes from Chile, and they grind up 3 pounds of wild fish to make 1 pound of farm salmon that we can eat. So stick to some great Alaskan wild salmon. So educate yourself as a consumer. But the truth is, you need to be a global activist, and it's impossible to do in our busy days. In my case, I offer you oceana.org. Go online, click here, and you become an e-activist, and you get messages, and you go, yes, I agree with that, and I will help you, and you click here. In 5 minutes, you've become an activist that truly is making a difference.
Ted Danson. Ted, it's nice to have you here.
Can I say one last thing? This is a hopeful book.
No, of course you can.
It's a hopeful book. This is not doom and gloom. This is what you can do to turn this around so that you can ask your grandkids, what did I do when I found out about this?
Good way to end it. Ted, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks.